Now let's see the topic of local maximum and local minimum. So if you have a function like this, let us say there is f of x which is defined like this, right? And now if you observe it at this point, let's call it as a. Now if you look at this point, any point which is taken to just left of it, which means in the neighborhood to the left of a and just to the right of it, if you take any point, at those points the value will be less than f of a. See, the value of the function at this point, if it is f of a, right? If you take any point to the left of a, which means just to the left of a here, or if you take any point to the right of a, which means just to the right of a here. So here or here, if you take any points, these values will be less than f of a. If you can find out any such point, then that is called as local maxima, right? Why? Because in the neighborhood it is the maximum value, right? And it need not be, you know, the only point which is existing like that. There can be any number of points like that. For example, if you see here, there is one more point, right? Let's say this point is at b, and now if you observe it, the value here is f of b, and if you take the value just to the left of it or just to the right of it, you are going to get some value which is less than the value here. So this means that there can be more than one local maximum, right? That is why they are called as maxima, right? Maxima means more than one point, got it? And similarly, okay, if you look at the definition, how they are defining it is, if there exists a point a and a small value which is greater than 0, delta is a small value which is greater than 0, such that f of x is less than f of a for all a minus delta to a union a comma a plus delta. What they are trying to say is, in the neighborhood of a, if you can find out that the value of the function is the maximum at a in the entire neighborhood of a, then you can call that function as that value as the local maximum, right? So here at the point a, we are going to have a local maximum, and the value of that local maximum is f of a. Similarly, you can do the same for the local minimum also, right? Now if you have something like this, let us say a function is defined like this, right? Now if you look at a point a, let us assume that is the point a. Now if you observe to the neighborhood of a, right, let us say the value at this point is f of a. Now this is the least in the neighborhood of a, but then it is not the global minimum, right? But then it is the minimum if you compare it to the neighborhood, which means if I take to the left of a, small point to the left of a, or if I go to the right of a and look at the values, they will be greater than the value which we got here, right? It means that at this point we are having the minimum in the neighborhood. That is why it is called as local minima, right? So local minimum is present at a, local minimum is present at a, and the value of that local minimum is f of a, and there can be more than one local minimum. That is why we call it as the minima. When you have more than one, it is called it as a minima, right? When you have more than one maximum value, we call it as the maxima, right? So which means you can find out one more value here. Let's say it is b. Now at the point b, we are going to have a value f of b which is minimum in its neighborhood, right? Which means if I go slightly to the left of b or slightly to the right of b, and if I find out the value of the function, that will be greater than the value which you get here. That is why it is again one more local minimum, right? So it means that we have a local minimum at b, and the value of that local minimum is f of b, right? See this, if there exists a and delta greater than 0, which means a small number greater than 0, such that f of x is greater than f of a for all x belongs to a minus delta to a, which means to the left neighborhood of a union a comma a plus delta. So this entire point is saying that if you go to the left side of a or to the right side of a only to a small extent, and if you find out the value of the function, it is going to be greater than what the value of the function you got at the particular point a, then that particular point is called as the local minimum, got it? And if you have more than one local maximum or more than one local minimum, then that is called as maxima and minima, got it? Okay.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So, first reason is Out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And IITs, universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%. But all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177 and IIT Roorkee's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkee, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkee is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkee. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply, and statement of purpose building, and then LOR guidance, and GRE and English test assistance, and education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral, which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities, or 50 lakh universities. But whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.